On tonight's News Center update, we'll tell you why home computers are selling like hotcakes.
The Cabbage Patch dolls are also selling well, and Steve Beverly will unravel that mystery.
Joe's got a chilly forecast, and Rick has Piston and Hawk highlights.
We'll have those stories and more next here on WSAV TV3 Savannah.
Ooh, hot.
Hot, so hot.
Wendy's baked potatoes are
Hot stuff.
Wendy's stuffs them all kinds of ways.
Hot.
Like with cheese.
What cheese?
Chili and cheese. Bacon and cheese. Broccoli and cheese.
Wendy's.
Sour cream and chives.
That makes 5.
Wendy's stuffed baked potatoes. They're hot. For Wendy's kind of people.
Ooh.
TG&Y Family Centers want you to save more this Christmas. That's why we've worked hard to bring you the most popular gift ideas at the lowest possible prices.
Save 28% on a super gift idea by General Electric. The Light and Easy Iron. It's easy to handle, brake resistant too. Only $17.94. And the economical GE Toaster Oven is the perfect gift for people who like to bake, broil, toast, or top brown. Only $49.96.
At TG&Y Family Centers, we're working harder to save Santas more this Christmas.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us for News Center 3 Update tonight. I'm Catherine Cooper.
And I'm Dave Kirby. In our news, Pope John Paul tonight is saying nothing about the execution of a convicted murderer. The pontiff made a last-minute appeal early this morning that the life of Robert Sullivan be spared. Sullivan, a convicted murderer, became the second man to be executed in the state of Florida since the death penalty 7 years ago, when he was electrocuted this morning. Officials had received pleas from hundreds of people that Sullivan not be executed, but there were no orders granting a stay of execution.
Texas state troopers say a Trailways bus was speeding just before it went off the road near Livingston, Texas. 6 people are dead and 6 others are injured, including the driver. The bus rammed into a truck and then plunged into a creek. And Georgia state troopers are also busy trying to keep drivers from speeding. News Center 3's Kay Flowers has more on that story.
It's been 10 years since the 55-mile-per-hour speed limit became law. Lives have been saved, but officials say enforcement of the law is tough.
You know, as long as the manufacturers build cars that run 100, 120 miles an hour, people are going to speed. That's just the nature of the animal.
The number of traffic accidents has continued to increase in the past 10 years, mainly because there are more and more cars on the road. But the severity of those accidents has decreased, and that's mainly because people have slowed down. Not everyone is convinced slowing down is a good idea. Some truckers say it hurts financially.
You can tell it in your paycheck, in the time it takes you to get to one place to another, and you're late when you get there and you can't drive but so many hours anyway. It comes out in the long run that you're losing money.
But you can't argue with numbers. Nationwide, over 48,000 lives have been saved in the past decade, and in Georgia, 600 people have been saved from traffic deaths each year since 1973. Traffic safety officials say they'll reevaluate the speed limit on this, its 10th anniversary. But state troopers say they'll keep enforcing 55 as long as it's law. Kay Flowers, WSAV News.
Leaders of the union striking Greyhound met with federal mediators in Washington today, and tonight that session continues. Observers say it is not known whether the talks will lead to a revised union position or new direct talks between the two sides. The strike is now in its 28th day, and Greyhound says it will resume full service soon, even if the workers don't return. There has been much discussion lately as to how states might acquire more revenue. Here in Georgia, there is talk of raising taxes again, and the same is true nationwide. We've had a telephone poll survey for you tonight, and our question, should federal taxes on alcohol and tobacco be raised? Here are the results of tonight's poll. As you see, it's pretty close. Just over 50% of the people participating in the poll say no, those taxes should not be raised, whereas 49.5% say yes. Up next, we'll have some tips to keep your holiday travel plans jolly.
And if you're buying a home computer, you'd better hurry. Those stories and more coming up on News Center 3 Update.
Friedman's Jewelers, the Memory Makers.
I'll never forget the night Jim gave me this necklace. It was the first time I knew he really cared.
Make this a Christmas to remember with a gift from Friedman's Jewelers, like a 14-karat gold chain or necklace. Friedman's entire selection at 40% off, starting as low as $19.95. Or save on any Bulova watch. That's every Bulova, Caravelle, and Accutron Swiss in the store discounted from the memory makers, Friedman's Jewelers, serving the South for over 60 years.
As the weather turns cooler, hot meals for your family become even more important. And your M&M supermarket is the place to start. Pick up Kingston chicken noodle soup, 10.5-ounce cans, 4 for $1. All-purpose white potatoes, 10-pound bag, 99 cents. For the main course and just right for holiday dining, try Swift's Premium Hostess Ham, 4-pound can, only $7.77. And don't forget the vitamins. Kingston chilled orange juice in the half-gallon carton, just 88 cents. Winter and holiday meals begin at M&M.
The United States Commerce Department's chief economist says the latest figures indicate the economy is, quote, looking good for next year. The department reports the index of leading economic indicators rose 0.8% in October. Now, that is the 14th consecutive gain for the index, which is reported monthly. The Reagan administration is pleased with the latest economic figures. This is the time of year when most of us are concerned about the economy because, after all, we like to have a few dollars to spend so that we may buy gifts for the holiday season. Now, this year, video game sales are down, but home computer sales are up. And we have an explanation in this report from Mark Keller.
If you've been thinking of buying a home computer for yourself or giving one as a gift this Christmas, your time and selection may be running thin. Home computer sales have skyrocketed this year. Dealers say South Georgia stocks are dwindling quickly, and supplies just aren't large enough to meet the heavy demand.
Well, definitely running out of them. We sold quite a number already of the personal computers for home use.
Items that are not selling as well this year as they have the past few Christmases are video games. Major suppliers do keep coming up with new and advanced games, and some people continue to buy them. But it appears that the home video games have given way to the home computers now. People are apparently more interested in getting the educational tools for themselves and their children this Christmas.
What we're seeing now is the parents have gone through and bought the game machines and the game cartridges, and now they're looking more towards an educational system for the kids, something they can use over and develop over a period of time.
Of course, the home computer is not quite as hot an item as the Cabbage Patch doll, but Rayburn and other dealers say if you're even considering entering the computer age this Christmas, it's best to buy early and avoid the rush. To coin a phrase, Mark Keller, WSAV News.
If you're thinking about taking some time off and doing some traveling during the Christmas holidays, you're not alone. News Center 3's Sherry Fenn tells us tonight the travel business is booming. But if you don't make your arrangements soon, very soon, you could end up disappointed.
With Christmas less than a month away, it's a good idea to firm up those holiday travel plans now. And to help you do that, a trip to your local travel agent might be a good idea. It costs you nothing to visit a travel agent, yet they can save you time and money when it comes to planning a Christmas vacation. But the trick is to get it done early.
In order to get the special fare seats, since all seats are not special fared, it's best to make them early so that you can get what you want at the time you want or on the date. If you're late, you have to be somewhat flexible.
That's because special airfare seats are limited. Of course, flying isn't the only way to go. Depending on your destination and time limit, you may be able to take advantage of the train, bus, or perhaps the old trustworthy family car. But no matter what mode of transportation you decide to go with, there's still the matter of making reservations for a place to stay.
Hotels, I would say the area to which you're going would determine how difficult it would be to get a hotel during the Christmas holidays. Resort areas, yes. Those are ski areas, yes. I mean, we have booked our ski areas as far as a year in advance in order to have those for the Christmas holidays, and that is very popular in this area.
So remember, to ensure that your holiday travel plans go as smoothly as possible, make your arrangements now. Sherry Fenn, WSAV News.
And the latest Christmas craze is not crazy, but it does stem from the conflicting desire to be different, yet still part of a group. That's what one psychiatrist says about the unbelievable quest for Cabbage Patch dolls that has set off pandemonium in many areas of the country. The Cabbage Patch dolls are this holiday's best seller. In fact, Coleco's stock has gone up by 28 points in 2 days. Some folks think they're cute, others think they're downright homely, But whatever, they're moving, and retailers expect to sell about 3 million of them by Christmas. Now, our Steve Beverly says he's no Scrooge, but in his My Turn commentary tonight, Steve says there's good reason to believe the Christmas spirit has gone too far.
These are shoppers, and I love to be one of them. And I love what you see here, all part of the Christmas season, the Christmas spirit. It's a great time of year. But these are blithering idiots. Now, I'm sure you've heard by now the hoopla and the trauma over the Cabbage Patch dolls, the fastest and most demanded Christmas item that's in America right now. Dolls that are really about as homely, well, maybe they're so ugly they're cute, but about as homely as anything you've ever seen. $40 worth of stuffed doll, and people are actually fighting, breaking legs, having to be taken to the hospital just to be the first on their block to get one for Christmas. Now, I got just a couple of questions for you tonight, very briefly. Would these people be doing this same kind of thing if this was a real child instead of a doll? Recently, we found out there are 1,200 families in Savannah, Georgia, that don't have homes, that are on the waiting list for public housing. They can't get any. Children are part of those families. We have people who are hungry in our community. We also have orphanages all over this state, children who have no place to go. Now, I ask you one more time, would you or would these people be doing this if it were a real child involved? Is this really the spirit of Christmas? Don't answer me out loud. Just think about it. I'm Steve Beverly, and that's my turn.
Coming up next, Joe Cox has the 5-day weather forecast.
He says it's a chilly one, and he'll have the details coming up next.
My prints never look this good.
I shoot 35.
So do I.
I check the exposure.
So do I.
And I use new UltraLab 35.
Ultra what?
UltraLab 35 processing, only at Eckerd. We examine each shot for color and contrast, print on high-gloss Kodak paper, sleeve the negatives, and give you 30% bigger prints. UltraLab 35 from Eckerd. When you're serious about 35 millimeter.
I always use UltraLab 35.
Well, so do I. Starting today.
You'll get that old special feeling during old special feeling dealing days.
Savannah is a city rich in history, and Fuller Oldsmobile is a dealership with only the best, like this Cutlass Sierra.
You'll be impressed with its luxurious interior, meticulous engineering, and superior performance.
Get that feeling at Fuller Oldsmobile, 7103 Abercorn, where if anyone will, Bill will.
You'll get a special deal on an Oldsmobile.